my name's Julie Ryan and I'm with Alberta Provincial Parks in beautiful Kananaskis Country. And I'm going to talk to you today about the two different types of bears that we have in Kananaskis Country. Here we have grizzly bears and we also have black bears. Now, a lot of folks assume that because black bears are black, they're always going to be black. And because grizzly bears, another name for them is a brown bear, they're always going to be brown. That's not always the case. Color is not the best way to determine between black and grizz, because both bears can be black, blonde, like this beautiful black bear here, cinnamon colored, and they can even be so black that they almost look blue. So color is not the best way to determine the difference between them. The best way to determine is look at the back. So if you look at this grizzly bear here, you can see that this bear has a big hump on its back. And what that is, it's a big mass of muscle between their shoulder blades that they use to dig. Because grizzly bears love digging for their food, like ground squirrels or ants or roots under the ground of flowers. You can see on this black bear here that this black bear has a nice flat back because black bears don't do a lot of digging, hence no hump. What black bears do have, however, are short, curved claws for climbing. So black bears, although they don't do a lot of digging, they do excel at climbing. And they use these nice short curved claws to climb trees. Grizzly bears, however, don't do a lot of climbing and a lot of digging, as I said, so they have these long curved claws that are almost like shovels. And they'll use that big massive muscle and these big shovel-like claws to dig out their food. Another way to tell the difference is their facial profile. So black bears have what we call a straight profile. So from the tip of their forehead to the tip of their nose, it's a nice straight line. Whereas grizzly bears have more a dish-shaped profile. So from the tip of their forehead to the tip of their nose, it's nice and scooped. So that's another way you can tell the difference. Their ears are also a little bit different as well. Black bear ears tend to be a little closer together and a little more triangular. And grizzly bears, they have the more stereotypical teddy bear ears, where their ears are further apart and a little more rounded. Now, whether we're looking at a black bear or a grizzly bear, they do have similarities when it comes to their food. Bears, black and grizz, are omnivores, which means they like to eat plants and vegetables and meat, all kinds of different foods. They also will scavenge for their food and they'll hunt for their food as well. So they eat all sorts of things. So you can see from their teeth here, they have perfect teeth for an omnivore. So their front teeth here are for grabbing their prey or meat or ripping up meat, just like we would use a steak knife. And their teeth back here are nice and flat, just like our molars in the back. And these teeth are used for grinding up plants and other vegetation. Whereas if you compare that to, say, a cougar skull, which is a carnivore, you can see their back teeth have these sharp carnassial teeth, and that's what they use to shear up meat. You can see bears, even though in the carnivore order, aren't really true carnivores because they have these flat molars in the back because they grind up plants, just like we do. Now, when you're out hiking in Kananaskis Country, some of the common foods that bears like to eat are a lot of berries. When bears are trying to get fat for the winter, they can eat 200,000 berries a day. Now, when you eat that many berries a day, your scat is gonna look a little bit funky. So you can see from this picture here in the fall, this is what bear scat looks like. They don't have diarrhea, they're not sick, but they just have some very berry scat. Your scat would look like that too if you ate nothing but 200,000 berries a day. In the fall, in the spring, when you're hiking around, you may see scat that looks more like this. Couple fibers in there, a few seeds, but not a lot of berries out in the spring, so you're kind of looking for scat like this. So if you're out hiking and you do see bear scat, or you see some buffalo berries, which is a tall shrub that have some red berries in it, or if you see a rock rolled over or an anthill torn apart, you definitely have bears in the area. So it's a good idea to make some noise, let the bears know that you're there by giving a good yo, because we are sharing this space with bears and we want to make sure that we coexist with them and we keep our wild spaces wild. So have fun, be safe out there, and watch for these bear signs and make lots of noise on the trails.